Abatuwuliriza program yaffe egenda kutandika. Abagenyi baffe tubadde tulinda batuse. Yeah, welcome to this live show today, and we have here with us Mr. Tony Isobikalu and Mr. Victor Lukandwa. They're going to be speaking to us. Batuwuliriza tuli wano mu studio yaffe Egan, Minnesota nga tuweereza ensi yonna. Mubeba kakamu tulina wano abagenyi abakulu ddala be tubaleetedde bagenda kubanga babaliisa ekigambo kyamaanyi nnyo ddala era wotudde tulira ddala bw'oba weetaagako kunywa konna obaako kulya emberenge sooka ozifune mu ddakiika emu tugenda kubanga tubaweereza wano. Ebisinga obukulu bigenda kubeera nga bikwata ku convention eya Twegaite International nga eri wano mu Minneapolis. Kale era nga abagenyi baffe wano essaawa yonna obalaba baabo bali mu nsiike. Gentlemen, you are so welcome here to be part of the Tuwaye Media Network and to give a word to our listeners and let them know what is happening in our community very, very soon. All right. Oyo tusooke tumuggyeko ate tukole emirimu gyaffe wano. Kale, I am so happy to host you, gentlemen. Very, very happy that you are here, Mr. Lukandwa, Mr. Isobikalu. This is a special day, but first we want to send a message of condolence to two people. We know we lost Isaac, and I think that's been very recent, and we also lost Samuel in our community. So we pray for them. We pray that the God receives them well in your dominion over there in heaven. First things first, of course, we're going to be, as you can see, our guests are ready to talk to you here. First things first, I'll ask them to do introductions and who they are, what they stand for, and what's happening in the community. We'll start with the chairman of the Twegaite International, who is Mr. Victor Lukandwa. And then we'll go to the past president, past chairman, Mr. Tony Isobikalu.
Thank you very much, John. First of all, congratulations on the Tuwaye Media Company. This is very encouraging, bringing news to our people. Those are bwetwogera mu luzungu n'oluganda kijja kukola.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes. It's going to be a multilingual discussion. Yes. Muluganda, Mulusoga, any language you choose. Yeah.
Perfect. Kakati, my name is Victor Lukandwa. I would like to first of all pass my condolences on to those people who have lost their loved ones. Two of them in the Twin Cities here, as John has mentioned. We also, our past president, the immediate past president's father passed away this week. So, to Mr. Peter Mukunya, condolences to the families. Again, my name is Victor Lukandwa. On a personal level, I am a software engineer by trade, and then I'm a broker, real estate broker as well. Now, for the purposes of this conversation, I am the Twegaite International President, and I'm happy to talk to you and your viewers.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Lukandwa. And then, Mr. Isobikalu, can you please introduce yourself? And let's let our viewers and listeners know who is talking to them.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. John, for hosting us in your beautiful studios. Like the president said, I will also follow with our condolences to the two people that lost their loved ones in our community, but also I want to send our sincere condolences to the past president of Twegaite International, Mr. Peter Mukunya from Texas. He lost his father, and I think he's on the way to Uganda right now to say his goodbyes to his beloved father. Again, my name is Tony Isubikalu. I'm a former president of Twegaite International. I was president almost 10 years ago, I think 2015 to 2017. As in profession, I am a wealth banker. What that means is I work with people like you. Part of what I do for a living is I speak to people a lot because it involves a lot of holistic planning. So we look at the different aspects of people's lives and come up with a plan. And the long-term goal is to do a long-term planning. But as for today's business, I am here to accompany the president, not because I'm an executive, but because I've been part of a lot of decisions in Twegaite in the past few years. So again, Dr. Mutyaba, thank you so much for hosting us, and we look forward to talking to your listeners.
Thank you very much, Mr. Isobikalu. And without further ado, let's talk about Twegaite International. Now, we know it's a 25-year organization, and that's what we are going to be celebrating. So can you briefly talk about the history there? And this, any of you can take this one. Talk a little bit about the history and where we are at, you know, the purpose of the organization and highlights, you know, and then we go from there.
I thank you again. I think it is important to talk about the history of where the organization came from, to give viewers a little bit of a preview. This has been a 25-year effort. That is why we are celebrating a silver jubilee in May 2023 to the 26th here in the great state of Minnesota. Twegaite International started originally, and I wrote some notes down because I want to be chronologically correct. So we started in New Jersey in 1998. Then it moved to Houston, where we had a convention in 2008. In between those years, there's a little bit of a lull or a quieting down. Then it picked up again. And from Houston is when it was really ramping up.
Okay.
It was then brought to Minneapolis in 2009. As you know, Mr. Kizito was the chairman then, and we went to Boston the year after, 2010, went to Seattle in 2011, California, 2013. We brought it back to Minneapolis in 2015. That was a very big one. After that, we went to the Virginia area, DC area, at the Gaylord Hotel in 2017. Then we went to New Jersey, then Texas last year. And we are bringing it back to Minneapolis.
Back to Minnesota. Wow.
This place is where things happen, in my opinion.
That is correct. And to add on what the president said, originally when this organization started in 1998,
Yes.
it was a few individuals in New Jersey that started it initially to come together to welcome other Ugandans, Basoga that came into the U.S. and to solve a few problems that they could solve in back home. You know, they would sit together, have a drink, and contribute money to help people back home. But it went on growing as we went on to different places, like you had from the first major convention, like you said, was in Houston, Texas. Then from Texas, we moved on to the next. So as we went on to do different conventions, it kept on growing until we got to around 2010, I think. That is when it was incorporated in Boston. So it became a corporation at that point.
Okay.
And to add on to that,
Twegaite's superpower, or the thing that we do best, is bringing stakeholders together. Twegaite itself is not an organization that has staff members. So we don't actually do work and carry out stuff together, but we bring people together who actually do big things. We've done a number of projects, which we are going to list in no particular order. We helped with the renovation of the cancer center, and I'll let you jump in from time to time.
Right.
We've had a trachoma project. We've done microfinance that we've been involved in. We've done a bunch of runs, major runs, both in Uganda and here in Minnesota, in the US, and the run that we had here was in Minnesota. We've had, what else?
Yeah, just to add on that, and to get back a little bit to your issue of history, and what we do. Basically, Twegaite is an organization that brings together Basoga and friends of Basoga. If you've noticed, there's a lot of people that engage in our activities that are not necessarily from Eastern Uganda or Basoga, but we bring together our friends to solve problems back home. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things we do, some things you don't even see. I know the president was listing out some of the achievements that Twegaite has achieved in the last few years.
All right, and that's where we were going.
Right.
I was going to ask, what are the main goals, and then what are actually some of your projects? What kind of things you have done for the community
Right. As Twegaite, our aim, to go back to your question, again, is to come together to resolve socio-economic issues, address issues in Busoga. How do we do it? We bring together different stakeholders, friends of Busoga, and our members to do stuff like that. Now, what have we done in the past few years? A lot of projects. I'll start with, I think the president already mentioned the microfinance.
Cancer center.
Microfinance. What we do is we started a project where we extend affordable loans to women, mainly women, and the youth in Busoga. And we also had a cancer center renovation project where we went to Uganda, renovated the cancer center ward in Jinja Hospital. We stocked it with the beddings and other equipment, and we officially opened it in 2015. It had been closed for so many years. We've done one of the things we did actually, and this is something you don't see. We lobby. In one of the things we resolved, I think it was in
you lobby here in the U.S. or
both here and back
and Uganda.
Yes, and I'll give you a good example of what I'm talking about here. One of the conventions, I think this was in California or Boston. I'm not so sure about where we decided this. we wanted to promote Jinja as a tourism destination to get it back to its lost glory. You know, when we met, we realized that we can never get back Jinja to its lost glory of the industrial capital of Uganda, but there was a lot of tourism potential. So we decided in one of the conventions that we should promote Jinja to a main tourism destination in Uganda, but also promote it to city status. Now, I'm sure you've heard about the debate of city status and stuff like that.
So
debate
right
started
now
here.
it's a town.
It's
It is
a
now
city.
a city. It was
Okay.
promoted
After
as-
you did all the lobbying.
Yes,
you did.
yes. It started.
it started here.
It was a municipality.
Oh wow.
It started here, and we are blessed that our patron was the Speaker of Parliament at that time, Honorable Rita Kadaga.
Okay.
So she pushed and made sure that this issue is brought to Parliament. And if you notice, many other cities, I think Mbale, Mbarara, also followed suit
And they
to
became
to
cities.
claim for city status. Yes. So the things you see, I think 3-4 years ago, Jinja and a few other cities were declared cities. That whole push began at Twegaite.
Wow.
That is correct.
Okay.
So
that's,
yeah,
that-
so there's a lot of things. I mean, getting back to Mr. President, you want to go back to our some of our achievements.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
you have the floor. I'm doing the questioning, but it looks,
Yes.
Mr. Esubikalu, thank you very much.
No, we don't want
Please.
to take over the.
No. That's
But-
great. Yeah.
But I think as you're probably involved in the Buganda government things.
I'm on the Kabaka Foundation.
Kawaka Foundation.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, as Basoga, are very proud Basoga, and we support our Chabazinga.
That's
And
right.
as Twegaite, he has come to a number of our conventions here
The
in the
Chabazinga
US.
has
The
been-
Chabazinga
Okay.
in Busoga. And we have, as Twegaite International, we've partnered up with the Chabazinga ship in multiple projects, including one that was done here in Minneapolis called the Itala project.
Okay.
We supported and collected some funds for the royal wedding. I don't know if you heard about that
I heard. Yeah, I saw
big thing that caused us a lot of pride.
Yeah.
And now our Chabazinga has now been promoted to what is his position?
He was chosen to be an ambassador
Yes.
for the UN, and there's a project. I think this is to do with a teenage pregnancy. There was the rate of teenage pregnancies in eastern Uganda, especially Busoga, was so high, and they realized that he's a very good ambassador to do that. So that's a new role he has taken on, and I don't know whether you know this, but he's going to be the chief guest at the upcoming convention in May. And one of the things we hope to discuss in the forums is this issue: how do we partner with the Chabazinga to help him with his new role of protecting teenagers against the early pregnancy?
Oh, that's great.
Right, and actually to add on that, there's maybe Mr. President forgot to add this under the Chabazinga initiatives. Twegaite renovated and stocked the Inebantu library.
Yep.
Inebantu is the wife of the Chabazinga, just so you understand.
Yeah.
Now the Chabazinga before this one, the late Chabazinga, rest in peace, his wife, called Alice Molot, she had a library that Twegaite took on to renovate. We stocked it with
Books.
books from the U.S. And that is one of the was one of our initiatives with the Chabazinga.
Wow.
Right.
Very, very good. Really, we appreciate all these things you do, and it looks like the impact is there to be seen. Now, we understand that you are organizing a big function here in Minnesota, and that's the 25th year anniversary. And I think that's really big. What are some of the main goals of the convention, and what are the outcomes that you hope to achieve?
Thanks for that question. Again, I want to emphasize the location and the dates, because marketing is one of the things that we have to do. We are doing it in Minneapolis. The dates are going to be the 23rd to the 26th. It's the Silver Jubilee. We are bringing in a lot of delegates from both government and business. And we also are blessed to have one of our 3 bishops. And this is one of the things, the Right Reverend Wakula. I'm trying to make sure that I don't mess up the titles. And one of the main goals of our convention this year is bringing people together.
To solve our issues in Busoga again.
Yes.
Again, it goes back to what we told you earlier. The Chabazinga is coming here. He has a new role, this teenage early pregnancy, and part of what we wish to address is that we need to rejuvenate our microfinance project.
Yes.
And let us face the fact, after COVID, Twegaite did not remain the same. I mean, prior to COVID, this was a very vibrant organization. I don't know whether you followed us, but part of what we did, we staged 2 very big marathons in Uganda, and that's not easy to do. The plan was to do 4 marathons and later hand it over to the kingdom, like the Kabaka Run. Yes. That was the whole plan. Let's get it, let's get sponsors on board, let's make it popular, let's run it for about 4 years, then give it to the kingdom. Kingdom does it under Twegaite because it's taxing to do something like that from the US. That was the plan. So part of this convention is really to rejuvenate Twegaite, to bring it back to
exactly,
that glory.
Exactly.
Yes, we are. That's why this is a big event. We've invited a lot of people that started Twegaite. We have a lot of dignitaries coming in town.
Yeah, well, that's coming. That's coming
up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of dignitaries, both from the opposition, from the government.
Yes.
We have religious leaders coming in town. We have artists from Uganda coming in town. We have a lot of visitors, coming in this town to celebrate for this event.
And it's
and also, John, I think selfishly, we want to promote our city and our region in Minneapolis.
That's not being selfish. That's charity begins at home.
Absolutely. People tend to think of when they come to the United States, they want to go to these other hubs, Chicago. But those are the things that are sounding out there. Minnesota is a great state. There's a lot happening here.
Yeah.
We are trying to highlight it on our website and in our marketing so that people can come here and come early. Don't come within those dates that I mentioned. If people can come earlier, say Thursday, Wednesday, and take us a tour of the city. This is a vibrant city, and I encourage you all to come.
And Dr. John, I just want to add something on that convention part of it. I'm glad the president brought up that thing to encourage people to come in early, because we have a big program running for that weekend. Friday, we intend to have a forum actually on Friday. And Friday is the opening day. I don't know if you've been to the Hyatt Regency downtown, but it's a beautiful hotel. It has an outdoor patio. We might have, weather permitting, an event outside. Part of it, we might celebrate our patron. Our patron has been really good to us. She's been there for the organization. Maybe
Rebecca
we might call
Kadaga.
She's coming.
Yeah, she's coming. Yes, we
absolutely.
might call it the patron night outside on a patio deck. That is the opening night. We have a bunch of artists and great DJ coming from Uganda. The next day is Saturday. Saturday is action packed. We have a run in the park.
Okay.
So Saturday morning, we have a run in the park. After the run, we will
Is that
have
like a 5K?
Yeah, 5K. It's a fun run. You
5K,
can walk.
you
I
can
mean,
walk,
we are
you
not
can do-
complicating it like that. I mean, we are
Yes.
calling it a 5K, but you can walk, you can run. Then you come back. We'll have a barbecue in the park. I mean, we are actually having a forum in the park. So for the first time at any convention, there will be forum in the park. Exactly.
And this is people maybe want to Google this. Loring Park. Loring Park is a very famous area in the downtown Minneapolis area.
Minneapolis.
So that is where it's going to be.
Yeah. So you can come in, walk across the what's the name of the bridge? What is it called, Victor? Irene something? Irene
Yes,
Bridge.
it
crosses, I
forgot
think,
the name.
I-35, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you run across that bridge. There's a lot of things to see the
It's
other
a
side.
historic bridge.
Historical
too,
bridge,
so-
exactly. Then you come back. There's barbecue going on. There's gonna be a forum, and then once that ends at about 3 o'clock, we head to the boat cruise, and that is another epic one.
All right.
And I encourage people to actually register for that quickly because the last time we had a Twegaite here, we had a 400 people capacity cruise, which almost filled. It didn't fill at the time. But remember, the population in Minneapolis has almost quadrupled since then. As I speak now, half that boat is reserved right now. So I don't want any people, especially in Minnesota, because I know last year there was a boat cruise where people missed a boat.
Okay.
So I don't want anyone to be missing that. So we encourage people to register early for that, especially from our home city. We don't want them not to be on the boat cruise, especially. So that event goes from around 5 o'clock. Now, I don't know whether we mentioned this to you. The Loring Park is right next to the hotel.
Right
So-
next door.
So right downtown.
The venue of the hotel, so the venue of the run and the barbecue is walking distance to the hotel. So we expect people to get back to their hotel rooms in about 20, 30 minutes to get ready for
The boat.
for the buses to go to the boat in Stillwater.
Okay.
Yeah, that boat will go on until around 11 o'clock. We come back for an after party. The hotel has allowed us to go until 3 a.m., but we can't do that because the next day, Sunday, is very, very action-packed. We've already mentioned to you that the bishop of Central Busoga is coming to Minnesota. We are going to have a very powerful interdenominational church service on Sunday.
on Sunday.
In the morning, yes. So we encourage everybody. We are inviting the pastors, Pastor Balam, the pastors in our community here. Pastor Sylvester Mugabe, the bishop is coming. We have a Reverend Magola coming in from Nebraska. We have Father Jenga coming in from Boston. So this is going to be
Reverend
interdenominational.
Magola. Is
You know
that
him?
Rachel?
No. Rachel Magola is an artist. That one is different. This one is a reverend.
Okay.
Yes.
You may want to. I think we just sent out a flyer. Please mention what we are doing about Rachel.
Rachel Magola is present now. Rachel Magola
He's an MP now.
Is
An
MP,
MP, yes.
but also is a legend, a Frigo legend. If you've John, I know you love a Frigo. I know that. I know
Is
that
she
part
going
of
to
you.
give us a little bit of a touch?
Rachel is presenting a paper on one of the forums. She's going to be talking about the role of art and music
Yes.
in the development of Uganda. She's been in the industry for a very long time.
For a long time,
Yeah,
yes.
very knowledgeable person like her. But she was a teacher.
Yes.
She taught at the Masagali College in the past. So.
Yeah, I like Obangaina.
Exactly. So Rachel will be here to present a paper. So, but that Rachel is different from the Magola I'm talking about.
Yes.
The Magola I'm talking about is a reverend.
Who is coming from?
Yes.
Nebraska,
Yeah,
yes.
from Nebraska. He's
Nebraska.
going to be part of the committee that is welcoming the bishop, but also that service is going to be powerful. We really encourage, we want this entire community to be at that service. I know Saturday is going to be a busy night, but let us try to go to bed early so that we are all at the service.
So Saturday is the boat cruise,
That is correct, yes.
and that starts at what time? Ends at what time? And where is that going to be? Is that Stillwater or
Yes.
Lake Minnetonka?
I will say because we want our people to be cognizant of time. By 3 o'clock, be ready for us to set off for the boat.
Okay, and that, and then so we get there by 4,
By
5.
4, 5, and then hopefully we'll be taking off, God willing, by 6 p.m. or
By 6
You
p.m..
know, depending on what's going on at that time.
And then that goes on until 11, 12.
We are going on until, is it 11, 10? I think it's 10, then we come back for the after party.
It's 10:30, but
Yeah.
they want us to be off the boat by 11.
Yeah,
But we have an after party back at the hotel.
yeah.
So that event will be going until around 2 o'clock.
Okay, and that
Right.
event, the boat cruise has dinner, has musicians and artists, and
Absolutely.
all right.
Absolutely. It's going to
And
be
how
fun.
how much does it cost to get?
Good question. So, and probably let's highlight the costs of the whole convention. If
That
that's,
sounds good.
registration, obviously, is what I'm going to talk about first. Is $200. After that, the boat, which is everybody's excitement thing, is $120.
Oh,
Yes.
that's pretty good considering all these other
Considering-
conventions that we've heard
Yes.
about.
and we are doing that really because we want to be inclusive. We want this not to be something that deters somebody from coming to Minnesota, because we know when they come, they want to come back.
That is correct. Yeah, it's pretty reasonable though. Even registration, $200.
Yeah, that's the cheapest on record for now, because I know Buganda Omo is 320, 300 and something.
Right.
And what else do we have that weekend? It's a weekend of of a lot of fun.
Action.
But so far, this beats everybody in terms of price. All right. And of course, you will tell us who are
we
these
at,
artists that you're working with that
Yes.
are planning to be here.
Yeah, we have a bunch of artists that are coming from Uganda to be part of that event, and our marketing has a way they are rolling out this information. I do not want to get ahead of marketing.
Okay.
To come here and make announcements like that. But next week, starting, I think, tomorrow night, from what I've heard from marketing, they are trying to roll out a few things. So I don't want to get ahead of them. But we have a lot of some artists coming in from Uganda. We have, I think we've already announced the DJ. We have
DJ Silverback.
DJ Silverback. He's
Also coming from
popular.
Uganda.
popular celebrity DJ from Uganda is going to be here with us as well. So of course, after the boat cruise, the next day, like I said, it's the church service, and then we come back for a few forums after the service, and then we'll have the final dinner on Sunday. And I just want to make this plea here now. This is going to be a royal dinner because the Chabazinga is going to be at that event. So that knocks it up
A notch.
a notch. Exactly. It's a royal dinner, and we encourage, it's not required, but we encourage people to wear their traditional outfits, traditional attire. If you have a kanzu, if you have a gomesi, you can wear it. If you don't have, no pressure. You can wear your beautiful dinner dress or suit and still come.
Okay.
But we encourage
Okay. You encourage
And-
people.
and-
for that event.
John, if you
And then
like-
after that, people can go change and.
absolutely,
Exactly.
and then
Exactly.
dancing shoes.
All right.
And
Yes.
John, I'd be remiss if I did not plug our website. It's twegaite.org, and on there you can find contacts for the contact me. Please, we encourage you to send us emails. You can send a text message or WhatsApp to the phone number that's on there. Ask us to join you to the WhatsApp groups so that you don't miss out on the information or updates that are coming up. For those who cannot make it to the convention, I know that you'd like to but cannot, please go on there and donate to the organization. A lot of these things, and you can put a note on what you want your money to be used for. If you want it to be used to help to organize for the stakeholders who are coming into town, our guests, please mention that. If you want it to a specific project or thing that's close to your heart that we are actually bringing people to work on, please do that. I know our Reverend is trying to, the Bishop is trying to build a cathedral. I'll plug that in for him.
Cathedral in Ginger.
In Ginger.
No, actually, it's in Iganga.
In Iganga.
In Iganga.
Yes,
All right.
sorry.
Yes, it's in Iganga.
Iganga. Yeah. So that is.
You covered a lot here and covered some of the things that I was going to ask you, but it looks like you answered the registration costs, and is there any arrangements for early birds and anything that people should take advantage of?
I will say that we've always liked that early bird concept, and that was what we wanted from the beginning. And I don't know what the committee will come up with, but we wanted to, for now, the early bird is still $200.
The only thing that might actually have a change might actually be the bot because of the demand.
Demand, yeah, that's
That
a
one
good
might
point.
It might go up.
It might, yeah. That the 120 was early bird actually for that.
Okay.
But the it's the demand for the boat has been overwhelming, both from outside, but from especially our community.
Okay.
And we also engaged a few folks to reach out to our East African brothers, and they've been very receptive
Okay.
in getting on that board. So that one, I will not be surprised if the committee decides at some point, especially if we notice that there's a few slots remaining. I won't be surprised when that early bird 120 goes up.
To 150, whatever.
Whatever the committee will decide. I'm not part of that committee, so I cannot speak for that. But I think that is I can see that happening.
Okay.
Right.
There's also, maybe, I know we're running out of time, but I don't want to miss to say that on your forum, because you have a lot of people who are going to be listening in,
Yes.
I talked about our goal as an organization. We really need people to put their foot forward as volunteers. This is a volunteer organization. Nobody gets paid for what they do. If you come to the convention and you see a good thing, please be encouraged to step up to the plate and jump in and do work. People can bring ideas, new things that they want to do, and things like that.
And
Then
like
second, yes,
like Martin Luther King said, all of us can be great.
yes,
All we have to do is go
Step
serve.
forward.
Yeah.
yes,
All right.
absolutely. And then secondly, I encourage you to, if you cannot volunteer, if you cannot do something yourself, you won't be there, you don't have time, you can donate to the cause. I want to mention, I don't know if I have two major donors that came up last week,
Oh.
approached me, and one of them gave me a check for $400, and another big one almost close to $5,000. And if you're listening, thank you very much. They asked me to
Keep them
their names
anonymous.
out of the news. But thank you. We are very grateful. I thought I would say that out loud.
Yeah. Thank you for those contributions, whoever you are. Yeah. And we expect a lot more people will be, doing some charity on the website. It's at Twegaite
Yes.
International.
Twegaite.org.
Twegaite.org.
We wanted to keep it simple.
All right.
Yes.
Accessibility and logistics. What arrangements, if any, have been done to accommodate guests traveling from out of state, abroad? Hotel discounts, airport shadows. How is that going to work out?
So I'll mention the hotel. We have a 4-star hotel. We did not want to go too much or too low, but it's the Hyatt Regency downtown,
Minneapolis.
and as you know, it's a very, very popular hotel. It's very expensive, but we were able to secure it for $159 for our guests. And on our website, twegaite.org, you can click the link for booking the hotel. Do it early, because what we did, we got a limited number of slots. If the demand is high, of course, we can go back to them and ask for more. But please book your hotel. And then in terms of facilitation, especially for our major guests. We are obviously going to do that, bring them to us.
We have a committee. We on
Transportation.
yeah. There's a transportation committee. So if there's anyone that will need transport, like from the hotel to the airport, when they come in, we'll publish a number at some point that you can reach out to. And we also have a WhatsApp group. Many people are joining that group. So if you need help, you can say something on that group. And if you're a visitor, if you're a guest coming from outside town, somebody can help. But also, downtown, especially, that is going to be a weekend. It's not far from the airport.
You can Uber?
Yeah, we are talking about at most 20 minutes ride from the airport to the Hyatt downtown.
There's also light rail that comes there,
yes,
you know. So a lot of options.
All right.
Yes.
Right.
Let us switch gears. How does hosting an annual convention like Twegaite International coming up, the 25-year anniversary, how does that play into the goals of Twegaite International?
How does it play into the goals? The reason we are doing a convention and the reason why we do conventions, I think this is common on all conventions, including the Buganda Bumu or UNA, for example, is to bring stakeholders together. People who are like-minded. But also on a fun side, some people have found their future spouses at conventions. So that's a major one. So, Tony, what would you say?
No, I totally agree. Conventions are a fun event.
Yes.
A lot of things happen at conventions. We meet, but also it keeps the fire burning. I give you an example.
Absolutely.
I give you an example of an idea that was started at one of the conventions and then came to fruition about 2-3 years ago. I think I told you about the pushing for ginger city status. That conversation started at a convention. I think it was in Boston or LA, and it came to fruition like 2-3 years ago. We get a chance to speak with many delegates. I'm going to give you another good example. This is one of our achievements I didn't even talk about earlier. The eradication of trachoma. There is an organization called, I forget the name of the organization. It's based in Washington, D.C. That organization wanted to go, they had a mission to eradicate trachoma in the whole world. And Uganda was one of the hotspots for trachoma. But they never had a contact of how to reach Uganda. And when they tried to go to Uganda, apparently somebody asked for money to get them to somebody to allow them to bring that treatment to Uganda. Now, we are lucky. There's a friend of ours, and you probably know him.
A person in Minnesota.
Yeah, he worked for USAID. If you remember Noah Kafumbe, who used to live in Minnesota, now he lives in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Noah, because Noah was a friend of ours, he knew us. He told us about the project, the Trachoma Initiative, and we invited that organization to our convention, and all they wanted was to be introduced to some policymakers in Uganda so they can allow them access to Uganda. And I'm happy to report that gentleman came to the convention, met the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga. They invited him to Uganda. They rolled the red carpet for him. And Uganda was given all the medicine we needed. And as I speak right now, I think trachoma is not a problem in Uganda anymore.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So that
is something to be proud of.
That is a conversation that started
As an
at a
organization.
convention. Yes. And like I say, there are things Twegaite does that you don't see. Something like that, like we lobby, we influence things, something like that.
Yeah.
Twegaite did not carry the medicine to take it to Uganda.
No.
But we knew a contact that we brought in, we showed him the people that make decisions, and finally, this person was able to give us the help we need. As I speak right now, trachoma is not a problem in Uganda. The medicine is there, and it was free.
Also, Dr. John, I don't know if you use SendWave.
Yes, a lot. Yeah.
World Remit came here when they were in their infancy. And
To Minnesota.
Yes.
Yeah, if you remember, they sponsored one of the conventions in Minnesota when nobody knew them at the time.
Nobody knew them.
They bought Sendwave.
Exactly.
Yes, they later bounced, but that time they were small. They were trying to get traction.
To put their traction.
And then they were the major sponsors. I think 2015 convention.
Okay.
They were the major sponsors. They came here and they realized Uganda was a good market for for remittances. And everything now is history. You know where that company is gone.
So
I
come
know,
2030, we are definitely going to have Uganda AI, which started here in Twegaite.
That's my favorite right there. That's where the world is going right now.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, don't worry that you will lose your coding job.
Yeah.
You just have to go with the flow, right?
Yeah. Actually, bringing, I think part of what these organizations, Twegaite and many others, should do is to bring people together. I have heard that one of our community members here is thinking of doing establishing what do they call it? This process where they clean your blood through that process.
Dialysis.
Dialysis, yes.
Like a dialysis kind of center.
Absolutely.
And this is in Ginger. And
At
when
the
I
Ginger
heard
Hospital.
that, I jumped on it. I'm like, this guy, we need to get him to the people that make, because we are having the town clerk of Ginger is coming here for the convention. We are having the speaker of Ginger City is going to be here.
I think we know him.
Wow.
Wow. Some of the MPs are, in fact, one of your friends, I think Honorable Manjeri, of the woman MP in Ginger, I think you're known to her. She's also coming for that event. So we are going to get all these people that make decisions in Ginger and introduce them to people.
To somebody trying to build a business.
Exactly, in Ginger,
That's
and bring
going to
them
help
in one room.
the people
To go ahead
Busoga.
with going on now. That is something that Twegaite, you might not see our name out there, but we facilitate things like that.
Hey, that's so cool.
Right.
And we appreciate you for doing that. Yeah, you deserve, a pat on the back. Oh, actually, a lot more than that.
Yes.
Will proceeds or donations from the convention be directed towards specific projects or initiatives? Let's say the convention makes a profit. What do we do? Of course, you have budget committees and does that, like I was asking the previous question, how does the convention, how does it relate to your goals? And I'm thinking that's probably one of the ways in which it comes in.
And Tony will expound on whatever I say. But as an organization, organizing a convention, we are non-profit, and we do these things mostly here because we don't have a staff and so on. But the proceeds that come out of the convention after we've met our costs will definitely go towards the project. And in the past, this has happened, where I think you should mention the hospice project.
Right.
I think once we have met all our obligations, people have come here, had a good time, like they should, and there's money left over. We have to put we have to keep money in reserve for the next
Yeah.
group of people. But of course, some of it, especially depending on what the convention goers decide at the forums, if they decide to collect money and they have us stewards of a particular project, we definitely will make sure that that project is covered.
That is true. And
And,
Dr. John, I want to mention too that we have ongoing projects. I don't think we even mentioned our Girl Child Initiative. There's a project we have called Girl Child. We partner with our patron, Honorable Rebecca Kadaga, on a project where we fund girls with education, sanitary pads for girls. And even last year in Texas, we did a fundraiser for that. If you remember, our patron was launching a book, and the proceeds from that book were going to the Girl Child Initiative.
Did some proceeds from one of our conventions buy an ambulance?
That ambulance was proceeds from the marathon. We did a marathon in Uganda. We did two.
2 marathons.
Yes, and the first marathon, the proceeds, and we'll send you some pictures. Actually, we brought you some pictures for that. We used it to buy an ambulance for the hospice. We had a partnership with the hospice of Ginger, and then some of the proceeds went to that Girl Child Initiative. We have pictures of us handing over checks and stuff like that. And we had another, and then some of the proceeds went to the microfinance project. We extend affordable loans to women and the youth in Uganda, specifically the Busoga area.
And somebody will ask why women, but as you probably know, in the rural areas, in Uganda, not just in Busoga, women don't have the control of finances in the home.
Yes.
So the idea is to empower women, in the local women, the rural women who actually run the homes.
Right.
But to kind of keep the money away from the bars,
Right.
But
And
succeed there.
right, and just so you know too, we also respond to when there is a crisis, like during the pandemic. I don't know whether you saw that, but Twegaite was involved in reaching out to help a lot of people that did not have food. We bought rice, beans, sugar, and distributed it for free in certain areas. That
Certain
was
areas in Iganga, in
Yep, that was a really, really hard time for people. So, part of it is we do that.
Also, I was going to ask, and probably you have already done it. In America, if you're a nonprofit organization, all these, and you are 501c3, you have that designation from IRS. Any kind of contributions or donations that you get will be tax deductible for individuals. And you are talking about some people here who actually contributed some money up to like almost $5,000. That would be beneficial to them if they give that money and you had 501c3 designation. Is that something you are working on, something that is already in place?
So we thanks for bringing that up. We are a 501c3 organization, and once you do a donation to the organization, you immediately get a receipt sent to your email that you stipulate on the site. But also we have an accountant who helps us with tax documents and so on and so forth. So somebody who gives a large donation like that, they do get a tax form that they can submit for tax write-offs, as they should.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Conventions often offer great networking opportunities.
Totally.
How do you envision attendees, both within and outside of the Busoga community, connecting and collaborating at the Twegaite event here in Minnesota?
Oh, we have a bunch of forums that people will be attending, depending on what is close to your heart, especially when it comes to Busoga. We are going to have different entertainment events, including, parties at the hotel. We are going to have the boat cruise and the picnic barbecue and the run. So that's going to be a lot of opportunities for collaboration. We also have a youth program for the young people to make sure that they get involved. A lot of people have ideas that they want to bring, and unfortunately, not everything can be packed into a 3-day event.
Right.
But we are going to do our best to accommodate.
Yeah, and we are trying. John, if you are evangelical and you love church services and stuff like that, you love praise and worship, we have a powerful church service on Sunday. If you're a guy like John who loves to dance and have fun and stuff like that,
to run, actually.
Dance on Afrigo stuff. We have the boat cruise. We have a party on Friday. If you're a guy who loves outdoor stuff, you love to run, you love to eat, you love nature.
Yes.
Saturday is going to be your day. And by the way, Saturday is also Kids Day. We encourage people to bring their kids. It's not an adult event only. It's a kids event as well. So family event. So if you have kids, there will be trampolines. Kids are going to be playing around, jumping and doing all that kind of stuff. If you're a guy who loves to engage, we have a bunch of forums. One of the forums we have again is about ginger. We are still pushing for ginger to become better, getting back to its lost glory. That's why we've invited stakeholders in ginger. We have MPs from the opposition, from the government. We have we have.
Yeah, talk a little bit more about that. That's interesting. So there will be some political forums as well.
Oh, totally. I mean,
absolutely.
These are not political events, but we invite, because you cannot talk about development and issues in Uganda without involving politics.
The politicians, yeah.
They make decisions, so we invite, and we are lucky. Ginger is a diverse place, especially not only in politics, but even the people. There's a lot of different kinds of people. But when you look at the people, people in charge of Ginger right now, there's an MP from the ruling party, there's MPs from the opposition, there's people who are independent, So we bring all those people in one room. So if you're a person who loves dialogue like that, we have a forum like that. There's going to be a lot of people like that. In that forum.
Also, plugging Minneapolis, Minnesota again. As you know, our state is a non-tax state for shopping. So if you want to shop, please come earlier and do some shopping. We have Mall of America, which is
the biggest mall in the country.
I think it's the second now. I think somebody took over.
Oh, who took over?
I don't know.
That's news to my ears.
Musk or somebody. But we have one of the biggest malls in America, and it's accessible. It's not very far. And then if you just want to tour the city, there are
Land of
many
10,000 lakes.
city activities, yes. So.
Yeah, so we have something for everybody. If it's a kid, like I said, these kids' activities. If you just want to go to a fancy dinner and
Nightlife.
looking good with your wife or girlfriend, Sundays for you. We just want to treat this as a getaway. People to kind of treat this as a vacation from Friday. I think the president talked about
Thursday. Let's have people come early.
Yeah. I mean, like, you can come in on Thursday, but we've also negotiated a good deal with the hotel. That hotel downtown is not cheap, but we have a discounted rate. I think the rate is $150.
$159.
After $159 after the discount.
Yeah.
So and we have it 10 days before and 10 days after. So if you're somebody, we have so many people coming from Uganda. That is why we negotiated that deal. So we want them to feel free. If you can't come from Uganda to Minnesota for 3 days or 4 days. So if you want to stay longer, the discount is still on. If you want to come earlier, you still can take advantage of the discounted rate. Yes.
So allow me. We have a couple more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. if I may ask, it's been a 25-year-old run for the organization. I know we talked about all the different achievements and projects and everything. Can we just highlight some of the challenges and then how you have been able um, to get rid of or to go beyond those challenges?
Um, for me, the biggest challenge that I have observed over the years is volunteerism. We want people to get involved in the organization. We want people to feel the need to give back to the community back home that they cannot support either physically or financially. You can do your part by getting involved in Twegaite and beyond because of our stakeholders. That has been a challenge, is to get people to give up their time, their busy schedules. Some people are doing doubles, understandably, but if you can just give us a few minutes of your time to help the organization grow, that to me has been one of the challenging aspects.
Right.
And the past president.
Yeah, and for me, I think, and this happened after I was gone as president. But as president of an organization you love, you stay around. If they need you, you come in and help. I think for me, the biggest challenge, especially in the last 10 years, was the pandemic. The pandemic was a big thing. I give you an example. I told you that we had a plan to have the Twegaite Marathon, the Twegaite Run, established as a staple in Ginger. And we did very well. The first one, really, really good. We had sponsors. We got a sponsor on board who was willing to sponsor this in terms of kits. We had Renzori Mineral Water, Nile Breweries on board. We had MTN on board. All these, we worked so hard to get all these guys on board. We had a venue where we had this. We had Uganda Police was supporting us to do this. We had, what is that bank? DFCU. We had Post Bank. We worked so hard to get all these organizations on board to support. COVID hit.
Oh.
We were supposed to have a run the year of COVID. Remember, COVID hit around March?
Yes.
The run normally takes place around June.
Yeah.
We already had arranged the artwork. We had paid some vendors. We had kits that were being processed. That all died.
That's too bad. Yeah.
For us to go back, to get anyone, it took us so much. One of the biggest projects we ever did. And I think that was the year, because when we staged the 2 marathons in Jinja, Twegaite was at its height, because we took Twegaite international. At that time, everybody knew about the organization. But after COVID, all that went down.
Yeah, so I think basically you're talking about excitement level was up to the top, and then
Exactly.
kind of now we are kind of trying to ramp it up.
Exactly.
And
I
this
think,
being a 25th.
To
Yeah.
get people to do that again. Remember, we were in the
It's going
US
to be a challenge.
trying to do something. That's a challenge by itself.
Yeah.
But we are blessed and lucky that we are at that age whereby many people who are running things in Uganda, we kind of went to school with them, or they're kind of our age.
And we are
So,
still young, by the way.
You know what I'm saying? So it kind of
Yes,
helped
we
us.
are.
If you knew someone, the marketing manager of Nile Breweries, you kind of know them. You knew someone in DFCU that could help get something. You know, in Uganda, it's about knowing who to
Yes.
get things done.
Yeah.
We were at that age, but now it's tough to go back and lift up and do that again.
And it will happen. I believe the convention is one of the forums that will be able to bring people back together and rejuvenate that motivation that people had.
And John, by the way, another challenge that we face is the difference in understanding between when you've, and I don't want to be offensive to anybody, but the difference in the way things work in the US and the way things work in Uganda.
Yes.
Because we come from the US with ideas of, okay, now if you send money to this one, or if you're looking for this, and then you talk to people in Uganda and you think things are going to, and then you hit a wall where the understanding, especially when it comes to money and facilitation, that is a different way things work. Wouldn't you agree? I think
Yeah,
things
no.
are kind of...
That is hard. I mean, a good example, when we were renovating the cancer center in Jinja, one of our founders, who is actually a board member, and I want to thank her. Her name is Madame Betsy Zukusoka. She lives in New Jersey. Had to actually go and camp in Uganda to get the project done, because we didn't have many people to try and trust with a lot of money to go and do those things, to buy, pay the workers for a long time.
Yes.
Our microfinance project involved getting cash, lending it to the women and the youth, no interest rates, but we'd get that money and then give it to another group. So you have to give cash, get it, give it, take it. That process of giving and taking can be tricky if you are not on the ground.
I see.
So those are some of the challenges
I see.
that, as an organization.
And thank
we
you for
face over the
highlighting
years.
those challenges and ways in which you remediate or mitigate some of the risks involved with those challenges. And so, a final, I think we're going to have the final word. We will let. Is there anything else you would like to share about Twegaite International, or about how we can all contribute to empower the Busoga community?
I would say, first and foremost, register. Come register, join us in Minneapolis on the day. You know, we are Ugandans, so we want to do things last minute. You know, we don't know what's going to happen, and we don't plan 6 months ahead or 2 months ahead. Please let this be a call to action. You know,
Yes.
register. This money helps us to secure what we need to secure for you to come and have a good time. But also, it lets us plan adequately. So please register, come join us in May. What
All
else
right.
would you
Thank
say?
you very much. And our former president now will give a final word, final thoughts, Mr. Tony Isobikalo.
Right. No, definitely. I also encourage people to register. This is going to be a nice event. But also, when we say call to action, I want to call out, especially the youth. There's a lot of youth here. Come and be part of. Come and lead this organization. You know, come and lead it. There's a lot of things that are good about leading outside just being a leader. You know, you get to meet a lot of people, and I think it's a good thing. Come and serve your community, please. Come and serve, especially on the leadership. Come and serve your community. Come and be part of the event. But it all starts with coming to the convention and understanding what the organization does. You know, there's a lot of friends to make. I am so blessed that over the years I've been with Twegaite, I've made a lot of friends, long-term people in New York, Texas, and when you serve in Twegaite, there's something about Twegaite. It reminds me of, was it Obama who said something to do with when you're president? There's some presidential code. There's something about being president that even when you're a Democrat, and the other guy is a Republican, after that, there's an understanding. You understand, it's like a bro code.
Yeah.
You kind of understand the hassles
You have
and
similar
stuff. Yes. So
experiences.
you make friends, yes. I feel good. I haven't been president for, I think I was president 10 years ago. I don't have any position right now. But whenever called upon to do things for the organization,
You would.
I am there. Yeah. And it feels good to just be part of solving people's problems. So
And Twegaite, if for those who don't know, means is togetherness. You know, getting together. Our convention in Seattle, I don't know what year that was. I think that was 2011. Was primarily organized and run by people from Buganda. If you don't know that, so a call to service isn't just for
The people.
Busoga.
Yeah.
We want the friends of Busoga to also be involved.
even here, in fact, I want to take this chance to
Yes.
thank a lot of people in this community. Twegaite, this is like the home of Twegaite. Every time there was an event at the beginning, when we had conventions in other places like in Los Angeles, in Boston, the money, the seed money that was used to organize those events came from Minnesota.
I'm from here.
And we have a lot of volunteers. As a matter of fact, the chairman of Buganda Bumo in Minnesota, isn't that Johnny?
Chiseka, yes.
Mwami Chiseka has been a very good supporter of this organization. He has done a lot of things on volunteer basis. Your wife, for example, when I was president, I worked closely with her in doing so many things for Twegaite. I don't want to mention names because there are many people out there. I don't want to forget anybody.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people. So Twegaite brings together Vasoga, friends of Vasoga. We've had, Americans come together to help us solve the problem. So please come register.
I think we had a French girl at the registration desk.
Yep.
The last time.
Yeah.
So
Mr. Senator, the former president of UNA.
Yes.
At some point, he was our chief technology person for Twegaite.
Yes,
for a long time.
For a very long time. Yeah.
And he did. So this is about bringing people together, like the word Twegaite says.
Or Bomo in Luganda.
Exactly.
And in English,
Ubuntu
of course.
in the Bantu, from South Africa to Uganda.
Yeah. Gentlemen, it's been very wonderful to have you here today. I really appreciate you coming in to talk about Twegaite. And we know that the 25th anniversary is usually a big thing. We look forward to the convention, and we're very happy that you have had quite a number of registrations. And we call upon everybody else who has not registered. Do it as soon as possible. And as they told you, that boat, the boat is very, very competitive. Don't miss out on the opportunity to be on Lake. Actually, that's a river. River Mississippi. Yeah, that's the longest river here in the country. All right. Thank you very much. And yes, we are done with the program, and our listeners, we thank you so much. Akayimba ako kabanyumire, akayimba kamuchala bamita Judith Babirye, nga oyo ya imbye nyimba nyingi nyo naye nga kanoko ate kadini ampisi zaawo awabiri. So mwebale nnyo abatuuliza mweraba. Mukama mwenna abakuume.